Welcome to Chestnut Tree House. This is Sussex's only children's hospice. It was built in 2003 on the Angering Park estate, and currently we have about 230 life-limited children and their families who we're supporting, and a further 80 bereaved families as well. The hospice is purpose-built. It has 10 bedrooms, and as you can see, it's built in lovely grounds. What I'd like to do is to show you around the hospice, the different rooms, and give you a little bit of a taste of why families call this a home-from-home environment. As I said, the hospice was purpose-built. It was designed by local architect Neil Holland, and the idea was to make it more like a home than a hospital, so that families come here for a complete break. Children who are life limited can use these facilities. They have up to 40 nights of respite care mini breaks a year. And there are all sorts of activities arranged for them, and when we go inside you'll see round. Okay, so this is the reception area when the families first arrive, nice and welcoming. We just walk through. So obviously a bit busy today with our open days. There we are, so open the door now. And we'll go straight through. If you turn to the right, this is our therapy centre. This is one of the favourite areas of the hospice when children first arrive, and they love using our hydrotherapy pool. So if we just step inside here, many children aren't able to use normal public swimming pools, so it's a real treat being able to come in, and they can swim with their families as well. The water temperature is a degree different between air temperature, so it's very warm. And for many children who are in the sort of confines of a wheelchair, actually being able to swim is a fantastic opportunity. And to our right here is our jacuzzi, again for the whole family to use. Sometimes the families will come in the evenings to use the pool at a quiet time. We have a mosaic here. You'll see it's the theme of Wind of the Willows, and when we go over to the bedrooms as well, all the children's bedrooms are named after the various characters from Wind in the Willows. We have a hoist to take the children from the changing room right into the water, so it makes it much easier for them. And often for children, when the first time they visit the hospice, it's a lovely way for them to actually be able to come straight to the swimming pool and do something which we all take for granted, something very, very natural. And it also gets them used to the idea of the sorts of facilities that we have here. The next room I'm going to show you is the multi-sensory room. And then this is used for all sorts of activities. If you just have a look and see.
We've set it so as it just demonstrates, but normally it will just respond to the touchpad. Yeah. There are 3 of those in the other 2.
In the centre of the room is a waterbed, and children can lie on that who are perhaps sort of confined to a wheelchair. They also, again, we have a hoist here to help move the children from different activities. There's, as I say, multi-sensory, so there's all sorts of things that they can do here. Sometimes we use it for storytelling, sometimes for chilling. It's used by many different nurses and play therapists. Hi, we're now going to head on to the core area of the hospice, which is the lounge area and also the dining area, the kitchen attached as well. And again, normally this is sort of all arranged very casually for the families to go enjoy some quiet time. On our left over here is what we call our wet play area, and do many different creative activities with the children. Sometimes it can be gloopy, sticky, painting, sometimes with sand, sometimes with rice, sometimes with food. And again, working with both the children and sometimes their siblings as well. We have all sorts of activities arranged. If you have a look across above the window, doing thank yous with the wooden dolls at the moment. We'll be coming up to Halloween very soon, Christmas theme, we have Valentine's theme, all different activities. We normally have books out there for the children to get some ideas what they'd like to do. We have a very wonderful play therapist over there called Claire, and she works with both the children and their families, having different creative ideas to work with them. On the wall here, this is Meet the Team. We have a large number of staff and many volunteers, and they really help keep the hospice running for us. Without the volunteers we couldn't survive. They may be working on reception, they may be doing some admin for us, they may be working in the gardens, as I say, but without the volunteers we just couldn't survive. We have nurses who are both in-house and in the community, all specially trained. On our right here is the dry play area, and when we haven't got an open day, or normal open days, we have big mattresses out, and we'll have various toys, books, depending on which children are using the facilities at the time. Again, a very popular area. We also have dressing up clothes here, books, games, all sorts of activities. And you'll note how low the windows are, so it means that children who are confined to a wheelchair, they can still see what's going on outside. We're now going down through the main corridor. You note that specially designed with the low ceilings so that it doesn't feel very intimidating for the children. And we'll try and keep it as bright and friendly as possible. Let's go in here. On our right here is the computer, our IT room, and we have various computers here for the children to their touch screen, and as I'm sure you can imagine, the children are absolute whiz and all playing all sorts of games, but it's also for the parents as well, so that they don't lose touch with the outside world when they're staying with us, so they can email their friends, keep up with their work, whatever. We also have a home cinema so that the children can choose and watch their favourite films. Sometimes when we come downstairs, the children will be watching, I don't know, any sort of Disney movie or whatever. They might have popcorn, and just to make it as near to going to a real cinema as possible. It's all more artwork that the children have been doing. A very good form of therapy for them. The room on our left here is called Reflections, and we are a completely non-denominational hospice, but this is the closest we have to a chapel for silence, for meetings, for rest, whatever people want to use the room for. To the right here we have a memory tree where people can tie a ribbon and then have a sort of special thought at the time. We also have some books over there, and each of the children who have sadly passed away, and the families are welcome to come along and decorate their page. And the reason why it's called Reflections, you'll see over there it overlooks a little pond, and in the sunlight lots of very pretty reflections coming through. The next rooms we're coming out to is the Stars, a bereavement suite, and the bedroom and sitting room are offered for families who have been bereaved and can use these facilities once the child has passed away until the funeral.
So it keeps it quite separate away from the other hospice users. And again, next to us we're going to, it's got its own ensuite facilities too, so it's completely separate, self-contained.
separate entrance so that when the hearse comes up it is away from the hospice, so it doesn't disturb any of the other children there, and also obviously very pretty gardens as well.
My background was in commercial residential nursing care. So it's something quite new to me. We're not really sure about this. But obviously the feedback from the parents and giving siblings, I realise now how important it is with their journey, because they'll obviously remember the child for the rest of their lives.
So this is our music room, and it's full of musical instruments, as you can see, a very relaxing environment, and it helps the children and young people do all sorts of activities together. They can make music, they can sing, and just have fun in here, and children of whatever ability will be able to find something here, whether it's just the vibrations or playing the piano. The piano over there is self-playing. They have a lot of fun in here. We're now heading towards the bedrooms, but if you have a look on the left-hand side, you'll see all sorts of photographs. These are different activities that the children have been doing, taking part in. We like to keep them busy. And when we get to the end, we have 10 bedrooms, 4 teenage rooms on the left-hand side and 6 children's bedrooms on the right-hand side. So this is the teenage wing. They are obviously that little bit older than the other children, and they need somewhere special. The bedrooms are slightly bigger. If we pop into one of them, they're named after the 4 seasons. This one here we're going into is autumn. And we have a large number of beds, so depending on the needs of the child, we'll make sure that they have an appropriate bed for them when they come in. Again, all the rooms are very bright and jolly, and they all have access to the garden, so that the children can go straight out to the garden. We try and promote as much independence as possible. The rooms are adjoining ensuite, so that the children can be hoisted straight to the bathrooms. So one of the favourite things when the children come and stay is being able to use the baths, because many of the children, once they reach sort of teenagehood, and if they're not able to physically put themselves in a bath at home, that's one of the luxuries that they can't have. So coming in here, the water can be set at a certain temperature, you can have bubbles, it can be just very relaxing, and they love it. The toilets are self-cleaning, and the basin is can be moved up and down. And again, it's really helping the children be as independent as possible. Now, if you see next door how that room looks different, it's because you different bed cover, different personal effects. It depends on which child comes as to what we put in there for them. They all have their own televisions, and we try and make it as much fun as we can for them. This is the teenage den, and again we try and make it as somewhere where the teenagers feel that they can hang out. Obviously, because they're that much older, they don't necessarily want to eat with the younger children, so we have all sorts of games in here. Wii Fit, the Microsoft games, the jukebox here, TV, DVDs. And we also have a mini kitchen there for them, a kitchenette. Sometimes the children want to have takeaway food in, or they might want to snack here, and we try and accommodate wherever we can. This is the nursery station in the middle of the rooms, particularly useful at night, where they can keep an eye on the children without disturbing them all the time, with parents' permission or young person's permission as well. We can keep a camera on each of the rooms to make sure the children are okay. These are for the bathrooms for the younger children, so it's all a bit smaller, but again, have everything that they need in there. So these are the bedrooms for the younger children from the ages of 0 to 12, and they are again all based on the Wind and the Willows theme, from the outside, inside. They're all fairly plain, but we decorate them so when we know who's coming in, it might be Barbie, it might be a football team, we make sure we have the appropriate books, duvet covers, etc. Again, to make it feel like a home from home. Many of the rooms are adjoining because sometimes sadly we have brothers and sisters, or two brothers or whatever, with the same condition. And also we have sofa beds downstairs for the parents, so that if they wish to sleep downstairs with the children, they're able to do so. Again, many different beds depending on the need of the child. Hi, just want to take you now to the meadow garden. This is for families to come and use. It's very, very peaceful, very restful, still part of the hospice, but it's also for when a child has passed away and the families want to come and visit the hospice again, they're free to come and have a wander around. And on our left hand side here, very special water feature, and when a child has died, we have a stone with their name put on there, and the families can place the stone there just as a memory, a special memory. We don't have any plaques or anything around the hospice. This is the only place where you'd find any of the children's names who've passed away. And this is the other part of the hospice, our gardens, which are, as you can see, are absolutely fantastic. And again, particularly in the summer, they come into their own because the children just love playing out here. We have summer Olympics, sports days, barbecues, and really just making the most of the facilities here. Over there we had on the swings, we have different types of swings for the able-bodied. We have one over there for children when they lie down, and we also have ones that are accessible for wheelchair users. To the left over there is the Teenage Lodge, and they do all their art and craft activities in there. Again, that was something that the teenagers said they wanted their own place, so we were lucky enough to get a grant to have that built for us. The grounds are maintained we have many volunteers who help us to keep them in the wonderful condition that they're in. When you're just looking at the hospice now, you'll see on the first floor there are an awful lot of windows. Most of these are taken up with rooms for the parents and the families. When the child comes to stay, the families are very welcome to stay upstairs or indeed downstairs with the children. And again, it gives them a welcome break. For many families, this is the only holiday that they may have in a year. Families are able to stay, and the children are able to stay up to 14 nights per year here with us. So really, Chestnut Tree House is all about not only looking after life limited children in Sussex, but also their families. And when the family has passed away, the care doesn't stop there, because we continue looking after the families. It might be a phone call, inviting them to different activities. We have 2 special days a year when the families are invited back. It's really whatever they need, we will help and support them. And the families are also, they work with other families who are going through the same process as themselves. Chestnut Tree House is currently helping approximately 230 children. However, very sadly, there are about 400 life limited children throughout Sussex, and we know we need to help many more. The cost of running the hospice is £2.5 million every year, and we're only able to run thanks to the generosity of the community in helping keep this going. If you're able to help us and would like to do some fundraising for us, please contact us on 01903 871 820, and that'll take you straight through to the fundraising office. However, you may also want to contact the Chestnut Tree House if perhaps you have concerns about your own child and wondering whether Chestnut Tree House may be able to help you, in which case if you can phone 0845 450 5820.